Why do you make me play these games with you?
When Yu-Gi-Oh! First came from overseas, it was a cultural phenomenon. It was a very similar feeling, kinda like when Pokemon was first introduced to the West and took over everything. All of my friends at the time got sucked into the franchise. There was an awesome anime dubbed in English for us kids to watch, a collectible card game that was easy to learn but hard to master, and of course, the forgettable Dungeon Dice Monster spin-off. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Cartoon was how most of us were exposed to the series. It had a catchy theme song, cool characters, and Brooklyn Rage!
Brooklyn Rage!
Around episode 40 to 50 is where the series took a small detour and tried to introduce us to a new game involving our favorite monsters in the form of dice. Now you might be thinking, how in the world can they translate a huge tradable card game into a strategy dice game? Well, let me show you how they did it. To sum it up quickly on how it works, two players would play on a board where they controlled their die master. The goal was to, of course, defeat the opponent by attacking them 3 times. You enter the match with a certain amount of dice that represented that respective monster. Each dice had different stats on it that allowed you to summon minions, attack, defend, activate special moves, etc. The Dice Lords don't move throughout the match. Instead, you move your summoned creatures around on dungeon tiles you can shape and form throughout the game. It never really caught on and was slowly forgotten. It was a neat idea, a game of chance with a bit of skill, allowing players to essentially outthink their opponents and create their own luck by way of combining a pool of their preferred dice. I never got to play the real life version, but I did have the GBA version. Let's take a look at it. The game starts and first we see this awful pixelated still image of a dungeon dice game. Then BAM! The Dungeon Dice Monster title shows up, almost as if saying, "Thanks for buying the game, asshole, welcome to hell." And then the real quote-unquote opening begins and gives us a taste of what we're in for. The music is absolutely terrible, just listen. Oh my god. Everything's moving around extremely chaotic. I think I'm gonna be sick. And whoa, Yugi, you okay there, buddy? It's just a game. The title screen looks good though. Let's play some dice. There's a couple of options here to look at. I already showed you the basic premise of how a match is played out, so let's get right into a tournament. It looks like there are about 7 tournaments in total, all varying in difficulty. This one says lunch, and I love lunch, so I'm picking this one. Depending on which tournament you pick, you'll get a pool of opponents around that skill level and play in a single elimination tournament fashion. Thank God you don't have to watch everyone's matches. Let's see who we're playing up against first. ADRG, a rookie TV assistant director who was hired only 6 months ago. He plays with total desperation as his job hinges on winning. The only way I can keep my job is to become the champ. Jesus man, if you win the tournament, just become a pro player or something. Before each match, you can edit your deck, pool. But because we don't have dice besides our starting ones, let's just begin. So as I said before when explaining how to play, you choose a couple of dice which have different attributes on them to summon monsters and obtain important resources that are critical to victory. Without the right dice and luck, you won't be able to move, attack, defend, and other stuff. Let's see how we stack up against this guy. It's a pretty slow start and the real action begins when you finally meet towards the middle of the board and clash monsters. Each monster has an attack and defense stat. When their HP reaches 0, they are deleted from the game. The basic strategy I found that works pretty well is rush the opponent with weak creatures. See, the lower the level monster, the higher chance of summoning said creatures. More creatures summoned equal more board control. The battles play out in a small cinematic that is atrocious to look at, but perfectly acceptable for GBA standards. I enjoy watching these. Oh, he's blowing up, look! First match, easy peasy. Looks like this guy's gonna lose his job. When you win, you get a single dice added to your collection based on the difficulty of the enemy, which you can use yourself or sell at the store to buy the ones you actually want. Next up, we've got Stringer, a gifted and capable player of games. Oh my god, look at that scar. What kind of games you been playing, pal? However, he has no love for games and uses them for nefarious ends. Now, this might be a tough battle. This time the opponent seemed to summon creatures a little more faster than myself this time around. I went with the strategy of building up my pool of move and attack before trying to make a pathway to his face. The AI didn't attempt to throw out my plans at all, and it was an easy match. Woo, winner! Let's see who we facing next. Oh hey, Taya Gardner, finally someone from the show. And if I know my Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, this is gonna be an easy battle. Yep, fairies and weak creatures all over the board. And again, my opponent didn't try to stop me from rushing them down. Victory? Time for the final match of the lunch tournament. There better be food at the end of this. Damian Draco, one of Yugi's classmates. He broke the seal that locked in the mystical powers of the legendary dragon card. Ooh, damn, is this the challenge we've been finally waiting for? The first thing he summoned was some sort of treasure chest. Maybe I can steal it before he gets a chance to open it. We're making some good progress, going straight up the board to a head-on frontal assault. Ha! The treasure is mine! Remove 2 health from a monster. Oh, it was a trap. Oh, that's fine. I'll just keep rushing. Blam! 1 hit. He was able to defend with his petite dragon and has a bunch of high-level minions on the board already. He keeps summoning, but not really making any progress. I guess I'll just go face again. This looks like an easy win. Toward the end, he was actually able to rush up to my monster, but without any attack tokens, he wasn't able to stop me in any way. Strategy for the win? Tournament 1, woo woo, 100 gold. The Dungeon Dice Monsters series at first glance looks a little bit shallow, with the majority of the game being determined by the luck of a couple of dice rolls, but it's the other aspects of control that you have over the game that make it a little bit interesting. Which dice should I bring in my pool? Should I build up attributes in Turtle? Should I make a themed pool of dice? I can cut their pathway off here and set up a trap forcing them to move there. I didn't have much problem defeating AI opponents, but I can definitely see this being a really fun strategic game if you have a real friend and 2 copies of the dice game. There are options in the game that allow you to battle via link cable and trade dice. We haven't checked out the store yet. Let's see what's inside. Holy crap! A single piece of Exodia is 30,000 gold. I barely won 100 from that tournament. Just like in the game, it's impossible to get it in real life. Let's finish this.
Exodia, obliterate!
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe, and if you haven't seen the other past episodes, you can click on these 2 links right here. Okay, thanks for watching. Exodia, obliterate! Okay, bye.